statement is going to be very short, very succinct, and very to the point. Best team in the country, best player in the country, best coach in the country.
Questions for Coach?
Micah, just what Mason did tonight, I mean, you watched him practice, I don't know how many times, so it didn't surprise you, but just kind of how he got in that groove and the challenges of getting out of that groove were probably pretty tough for you guys.
Yeah, you gotta do something, right? Like Zach beat us up so bad in the paint the last time, but it's also like how you construct a team. You have the most dominant player in college basketball, and you put guys around him that fit perfectly, that shoot it, that move it, that pass it, and you got to pick and choose some stuff. And we chose to try and leave some guys. We chose to try and rotate. We didn't do a very good job of after he hit some of then finding him, right? I don't think it was the double teams or the other things. It was our rotations to not guard him, right? And that wasn't exactly the plan. We got to do a better job of following through with the plan. Right, I need to do a better job of coaching the plan, but you can't overdo everything. You can't change your system in 2 days, right? And now, like you lose to Purdue, now you lose to Nebraska. Like we need to stay as close to our system as possible, so we're ready to play on Sunday. And you come here, you try your best, you play as hard as you can. Shots fall, one guy makes shots. And he beats you, and told our guys, you got to shake their hands, right? Like you have to make choices. Sometimes those choices work, sometimes they don't work, and when they don't work, you shake their hand, you move on to what's next.
Micah, you obviously know this program very well. You know some of these guys, other than the obvious of Zach Edey. Why is this team different than maybe some of the recent teams that the Painters had?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a great question. I think they fit really well together. I think those other guys on the floor, they know how good Zach is. Zach's playing a lot more, right? But they know how good he is, and they get him the ball, and then he makes them better. Right? He doesn't always make them better by having to throw it to them. Sometimes he makes them better by scoring the ball, right? Now everybody's attention goes to that, and other guys are getting open. Other guys are getting off, dribble handoffs, pick and rolls. Right? Like they got a point guard who can pass. They got a dude that can run off handoffs and stop behind the screen and shoot, or even turn the corner and attack the rim and score. They got dudes that fill behind that can make threes. They got dudes that fill behind and throw an extra pass to another dude that can make a three, right? Everything fits. Everything fits in offensively and how they want to play. And I think Coach has been building towards this and building towards this group. And I'm sure he's having a hell of a time coaching.
Micah, how do you after the game in Purdue? How do you see your team with the rest of the Big Ten, because it's Purdue and then everybody else? And how do you look at maybe later on, and in the Big Ten tournament? Of course, then I don't think anybody wants to play a Big Ten team in the 8-9 bracket. So how do you look at yourself facing the rest of the league?
Yeah, we got to play better on the road. That's the one thing that we need to do. Like we haven't shown our best, and maybe it takes one shot going in early in the game to give us some confidence to push us through. But like we've shown to be a really good team at home. Right now, we need to continue that where we go. Right, we played well. We played really well. The win in Illinois was a long time ago, but it still happened. Right? That was us. It said Penn State on our jerseys. When we beat Indiana, it said Penn State on the jerseys. Iowa, Michigan, like whoever it may be. A couple times we haven't shown up. We haven't shown up twice on not shown up. I didn't think we showed up at Rutgers the right way. Like we competed here. Like this team's a buzzsaw, man. And we competed here. We did not show up. They just played really well. But I like our chances, man. I think we have a good team. And I'm going to continue to coach them that way. And I believe in our guys the exact same way. And I don't know, when we get to that point in time, we got a lot of games left. We got 9 games left in this league. But when we get to that point in time, I'm not sure we're going to be somebody's favorite to go up against when it gets to Big Ten tournament time.
Hey, Coach, you've been around this game a long time. You know most of these guys, obviously, at Purdue. what do you say about the freshman guards that Purdue has? I mean, you get questioned like freshman guards are so hard. It's talked about in the press. But what do you see from these guys that are, propelling this team being freshmen?
I think just confidence is the number one thing that you notice. Like, they both really believe in themselves. But they're both good. They both fit, right? I like, do they do this everywhere? I don't know. They have the confidence to do this everywhere, but maybe they don't get the same opportunity, right? Sometimes it's more about opportunity than it is what you're doing, right? These guys could be the best players in the world, and maybe they go to another program and they're buried behind somebody else. I don't know. Like, I'm not here every day, but they both have confidence. They both have a high basketball IQ. They both got swagger, and they're just like, they belong, right? And they carry themselves like they belong, and that's the main thing, right? Like, we did our best to try and take Fletch out of the game by just hounding him the whole night, right? And now somebody else gets, Mason Gillis gets loose, but you just do your best to try and just keep those guys. Like, they dominated us at the Palestra in Philly. Both of those guards did. Now we have to change what we do because of them and because of Zach. So that's what good teams do.
Time for one more.
Micah, you look at this, and Fletcher, Bradesmith, and even Edie had 9 shots. I mean, where you said it, I mean, it sounds like ifs and buts. I mean, apart from Mason Gillis, were you satisfied with your defense tonight?
Yeah. Yeah, like, so I said, so I tried to tell our guys, there's choices to make. Like, we had a chance to choose who was going to take the shots for them. Like, it doesn't always work because they run really good offense, and like, they can move you in different places, and guys get on different people in transition, or guys get out of position. But we wanted people to take more shots than Zach because he's the most dominant player in college basketball. We didn't want that person to be Fletcher because he's been killing people and he killed us. So now you're down to choices. Good by them of playing Mason, because it's another guy you can't leave as much. And I'm looking. I thought we did, like, before it got away from us, I thought we were doing a pretty decent job of getting them off the glass as well. Zach got 7. There's not a whole lot you can do about some of those, but we rotated. We had the people that we thought were the right people shooting, and we kept them off the glass, right? We just couldn't do it long enough, and then Mace got going. So we got to do a better job of, once he starts getting going, of adjusting a little bit to not let him, like, he can't get 12. Right? That's where like, our guys got to, like, be better of, like, all right, he's made this many. I can't let him squeeze off some more shots. I got to shut this down and still try and stick with the plan of what we were doing. But also, like, I also don't want to sit up here and give anybody else any ammunition or clues of how to beat Purdue. I can't, obviously. So you can listen to me all you want. You can figure it out. But, I ain't helping nobody else beat it.
Sure. Last question.
Coach, you rattled off all the teams you beat. Obviously, you're building a tradition right now at Penn State. How satisfying is that for you? See these home wins, see the crowd come out, and recruiting these players there that are going to make Penn State basketball a winner.
Yeah, I mean, that was my goal when I got this job, was try and just change the perception of who we are and what we can become. Like, I don't want us to like, not think of ourselves a different way. Like, I've only been here 2 years, not even the full 2 years yet. And, people talk about Penn State basketball and its history. Well, guess what? I wasn't there for that history, so I don't really care about that history. It doesn't matter to me one bit. I care about what I'm doing right now. So at the beginning of this year, when people said, like, you don't have what it takes, or Penn State history is not going to NCAA tournament, I don't care, right? I'm going to will these guys to the NCAA tournament. Jalen Pickett's going to will us to the NCAA tournament. Seth Lundy, Andrew Funk, all those dudes. We got a lot of games left, and we're going to do whatever the hell it takes to get there.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you, everyone.